Hi, I'm Colonel John Harris, and I recently completed my first 100 days as your new A-Tag of the Ohio Army National Guard. I want to take the next few minutes and share with you my assessment during that first 100 days. Also share with you what I see as our future, and then some expectations from me, and then what I expect from you. First, my assessment of the Army National Guard. I couldn't be more proud of this organization. I truly believe this is the premier Army National Guard in the nation. And I don't say that based on anecdotes, I say it based on fact, based on reports from accreditations from NGB teams. I say it based on inspection results from external teams. I say it based on the fact that our mess sections are winning the Connolly Award, our maintenance sections are winning the Army's Maintenance Excellence Award. Everywhere I go around this campus, I see evidence of that excellence, and it's validated from the national level. Do we have room for improvement? Absolutely. One of the areas that we probably need to work on is more focus on our full spectrum operation tasks, those go-to-war things. We're so focused on COIN and counterinsurgency, and we're deploying that way, but at some point we have to get back to training on our wartime equipment and our wartime skills for the full spectrum fight, and we're going to do that. So what do I see as our future? Clearly, we're going to be facing budget cuts. If you've opened the paper, if you watch the news, you understand that our nation's in an economic crisis and that we have a responsibility to do our part, but that won't be a showstopper. I assure you of that. I also see deployments continuing. Even post-conflict in Iraq and Afghanistan, our new Army cannot function without its reserve components. There will be follow-on deployments, either to the Sinai, maybe Korea, maybe to the National Training Center. There are going to be deployment opportunities, and we will continue to be a part of the operational force. So what's that mean? That means that you can expect from me, working at the national level, to glean the most resources and the most intelligence we can about where our National Guard is going so that we can influence our own future. You have my commitment that me and my staff work tirelessly to ensure that you have the resources you need to train for your mission and to be ready. I also see an increased reliance on the National Guard for the Homeland Security, Homeland Defense. Nobody's better suited than those of us who live and work in the communities to respond when our communities need us. But remember, that's a come-as-you-are mission. That means you get the phone call, you grab your duffel bag, and you're doing a mission within 24 hours in some cases. That means you've got to maintain a higher state of readiness. But you have my commitment that we'll have the resources to do that. Lastly, you can expect from us, me and my staff, that we will work tirelessly and make the hard decisions to ensure that those limited resources we have, both for the away game and the home game, are used to the best of our ability. We've got to lean out the organization, we've got to stop doing things that don't make sense, and we've got to apply those limited resources in a way that best maximize our effectiveness, and we're going to focus on that from the top level down. So what do I expect from you? It's easy. I expect you to maintain the highest level of individual readiness every single soldier can maintain for him or herself. By individual readiness, I mean, first of all, medical readiness. That means it's your responsibility as a soldier to keep yourself in a high state of medical readiness. That means that if you do have an illness, if you have an injury, I understand those happen. But you have to get well, and then we've got to document that recovery so that we can return you to a state of readiness for your commander and your first sergeant. The second thing is physical fitness. Listen, I understand it's tough. I understand you have civilian requirements. I understand that your employer has demands of you and your family has demands of you, but we have to find a way to maintain our force in a high state of physical fitness. That means we have to get creative. And there are so many ways that you can go about doing that. Join a gym. Do something that will mix it up and keep it interesting for you, but it's important that you maintain a high state of physical fitness. That's non-negotiable. And lastly, I expect you to be proficient on your warrior tasks. Every soldier has a requirement to maintain those basic skills at all times. We don't know what your next mission will be, but we do know that we'll rely on those basic skills on the part of each and every one of you as the bedrock for whatever tactical task we have your unit go do. And lastly, I need you to be a good employee for your employer. You know, at the top level of the organization, we can build all sorts of programs and throw all sorts of resources at convincing employers that it's valuable to hire a guardsman. I can talk about it all day, but nothing is more effective than you showing them. You see, our employers are stressed. They lose you as an employee for a year-long deployment. That strains them. So we have to counter that by convincing them that not only are we drug-free and that we have a great work ethic, but it's more valuable for them to go hire more guardsmen than it is not to. And I need you to be an ambassador for that in your workplace. One last word, I'd like to talk to you about trust. Because in the end, trust is the foundation that everything we do is built upon. Trust with our communities, trust with our employers, trust with the parents that send their young sons and daughters to join our ranks and potentially go into harm's way. That's why our value system is so important. And if you find yourself doing something that's compromising our values, if you're out there driving drunk when you shouldn't, stop it, because it's eroding the trust with our communities. If you're having inappropriate relationships or you know of them in your organization, stop them, because it's eroding the trust of our families and our spouses and our loved ones. And that costs us mission readiness. And in the end, it's that trust, one to another, that will give us the ability to go forth and do our mission in harm's way and know that we're going to do our best to come back safely. So on behalf of the Governor and our Adjutant General, Major General Debbie Ashenhurst, and myself, I tell you thanks for serving. I'm excited about the future for this Army National Guard and look forward to all the good things to come. I'm Colonel John Harris. I will always place the mission first. I will never accept defeat. I will never quit, and I'll never leave a fallen comrade.